Well, Tommy, it's not been a slow start to pre-season. It's been a busy time for the club. Happy with the progress so far?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of players went out. We made offers to some players that weren't accepted, for various reasons. But I mean, I must say that there were very good offers made to all the players that we'd would like to have kept. And we wish them all well. That they haven't taken up on the offer. We've made some signings, and there's a lot more to come. We do know that there's a rebuild job to be done, and the club, myself and James are working extremely hard to get as many players in. We start back on the 18th of June. With having to get so many players in, it's important that we get as many of them in, before that date, and make sure that we can get working with them and get them gel and get them, moving forward in the right way.
Before we move on to some of the new faces, we'll just touch on some of those players, many of who have been servants over many years to Kilmarnock.
Mm-hmm.
Just you touched on the rebuild job needed to be done. Sad to see, naturally, some of them go though.
Yeah, I mean, some of the we released Kurt Broadfoot today. Someone that's given a lot to the club. But I just felt that it was time for us to move on. Gary Dicker, the experienced ones, have done extremely well at the club, and it's never nice, but it happens in football. I say others that we have made offers to, Ross Millen, Greg Kiltie, and Mitch Pinnock. They have obviously turned down those offers, which is disappointing, but understandable at the same time, and it's not something that I'm going to beat myself up about. We just move on. That's what happens in football. And there's other offers. Callum Waters has been made an offer, and I expect him to to sign that, and we're in the process of getting an offer out to Berkeley as well, and plus the ones we've signed. So it has been a busy time, but the ones that have left, and that we felt we didn't need anymore, and the ones that have refused contracts, we wish them well. But all I want to do now is concentrate on people that I want at the club, and people that want to be at the club.
So we've got quite a few new faces, as you mentioned. Ewan Murray,
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Armstrong, Blair Alston as well, and all good so far. And what do you think they will bring to the table?
Well, I'd say Ewan is someone that we've the club had mentioned to me when I came in. I'd obviously been aware of him, but not followed his career that closely. But we made sure we got enough, watched him enough, between January and the end of the season, and he would have been a target if we'd have been in the Premier League. He's got good leadership qualities, knows the league well, which is important. He's aggressive in both boxes, nicks a goal, but also he's someone that I think that likes to defend, and he's a good talker, and I think he'd be good in the dressing room, and add it to the fact that he doesn't live too far away from here. He'll have an identity with the club, which again is important. Blair is someone I've known. I didn't want to lose him at St Johnstone, but we had to let him go at that time. Things didn't really work out at Hamilton. Falkirk as well, the way their season was, but that I didn't hesitate to to go and sign him when I knew he had a clause that he could, if Falkirk weren't promoted, he could get out of his contract. So I'm sure he'll come in and give his energy and midfield quality, and he also chips in with goals and assists. So really pleased with that. Danny Armstrong is someone that I tried to get on loan for St Johnstone when he was at Wolves, it was 3-4 years ago. So it's someone I've known. Tried to sign him when he eventually went to Ross County. I couldn't really guarantee him first team football then, so I think that's something that's burned. But again, someone that I know well, someone that has scored goals in this league, has got a few assists, and again, a big plus for me is he's 23, 24, and he's a good age, and he'll get better, and we'll hopefully make him better.
And you've got Scott Robinson and Jack as well coming into the club.
Yeah, I say we've been working extremely hard. Scott Robinson, again, I know all about. He's a Premier League player, and the fact that he's come down to the Championship shows that he sees what we're trying to aim and do this season. I spoke to him, a couple of occasions, to try and sell the club to him and where we want to be, and the vision for the club. And again, that was a deal that was done, in the last 24 hours, done very quickly. So again, that shows an appetite from the player that he wants to be here, and an appetite, obviously for the club as well to get it done. And Jack Saunders is slightly different. He's played non-league, got a move to Wigan. 6'3", he's at least 6'3", strong. Centre back. Hasn't played a lot of football, but I do feel that he's one that we can make sure that he's going to be ready for the first team, and again one we can develop. And I say he's aggressive in his defending, and Paul Stevenson knows him from working at Blythe Spartans with him. So again, to me it's another good signing, and the jigsaw, the pieces are falling into place nicely at the moment.
Tell us a little bit about the vision that you're selling to players and what Kilmarnock Football Club can do for their careers and what they can do for Kilmarnock Football Club.
Well, I try to get them to, because the obvious question was some of them, and then maybe some of them that had left felt they didn't want to drop down to the Championship. I just say, look, forget about what league we're in, look at the size of the club. I can't speak highly enough about the club in terms of how friendly a club it is, how it's almost like a family, and a big family. The club has got so much potential. You just have to look around at the stadium and what happens in behind the scenes. My vision of the club is to build something that is sustainable and be at the right end of the table, and that's in the Premier League. So I want to get out of this league as quickly as possible. I want to get out of it next season. We know it's going to be difficult, but the club are going to support me in terms of whatever players I feel and that we need to get in. The budget's a good budget, extremely good budget for this league. So when players hear that the club's backing the manager and they want to bounce back right away, and obviously make things happen within the perimeters of what money we've got coming in. So that's a big plus for them. They know that the club's ambitious, and I say in the longer term, and that's why we've give 2-year contracts out as well, just to the majority of the players that have come in, because we want them to feel that they're going to be part of something and be at the start of something new again, because it is like a new beginning for the club. I feel there's a lot of players that have moved on that have done well for the club, and it's almost like a blank sheet of paper for me to go and put my stamp on them and where we want to take the club. But the most important thing for me will be to get out of this league as quickly as possible, but also going forward to build something. Not I think there's maybe been a tendency to just look short term. We've got to be prepared to look medium and long term, and everything's set up in place. We've got good young players that will break through this season as well. There's 3 or 4 that will be in the first team squad. So even though we've had the disappointment, and it was a huge disappointment, I think I was numb for 2 or 3 days after the Dundee game. I see this as a new beginning for the club, a new era for the club, and exciting times for the club. And I know we're going to touch on it later. I mean, I think there's been it's amazing the buzz there's been about the place, even though we find ourselves out of the Premier League.
Exactly, not just the boost in terms that you've had from the board in terms of budget, but the response to season tickets in the first couple of days is. It's just a sign, isn't it? The potential that's here. It's
incredible, and the how it's been promoted has been well, and this is their home, and I watched the fans that were used as part of the promotion of it, and it is their family, and I understand that, and it'll be my job to make sure that if we're successful on the pitch, we can make the family grow even bigger and bigger and get more fans in. I mean, it's a credit to the fans, the people that have supported the club, that we've something like 1,500 season ticket sales already. I think we got just under 3,000 last year. I'm not going to set a target, but come on, let's show everybody how much you all care about your club, and keep buying those season tickets, because I do know that every season ticket bought will go to help the team, help me rebuild the team.
And we're obviously coming up to a point, you mentioned earlier in this interview, when the players are due back. You still working to kind of finalise those pre-season plans before we do get back into the
yeah, we're definitely back in the 18th. It's a short turnaround. It's just over 3 weeks, I think. It's less than 4 weeks, so it's a short turnaround for players. A lot of players we've signed have had a slightly longer break. Their clubs for a season were finished early. We'll get programmes out to them, what we want them to do in the build up, the 7-10 days before they come back, and they'll hopefully hit the ground running. We'll spend the first week in Scotland, doing a lot of hard work, and then the plan is, it's not confirmed yet, but it's I would say it'll be announced in the next couple of days. We hope to go to Northern Ireland for a week and play a couple of games over there. One will be behind closed doors, and one in the Saturday, probably I think it's the 3rd of July, won't be behind closed doors. And then we'll be back, get a game in before we play East Kilbride in the first game in the Premier Sports Cup.
You must be looking forward to getting back to action and just getting everything started again.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, after it all happened, I think like a lot of people, I say I was numb, and then listen, you can't feel sorry for yourself. It is what it is. Accept what's happened, learn from it, and move on. And my job is going to bring this club back to where we all believe it belongs, and make it bigger and make it stronger, so that instead of 28 years, it's maybe 50, 60 years before something like that happens again, or preferably doesn't happen again.